Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. We've got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I have 4 NBA player props to go ahead and share with you guys in today's NBA slate. But first, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how we did last night, and let's just say, I'm a little tight right now. Look, losing nights happen. We went 1-3 last night. To be fair, we did cash our Steph Curry play, which if you watched Ev's live stream yesterday, I kind of doubled down on this play, went on his live stream and said, hey, this is my favorite play of the day, Steph Curry under. He cashed with flying colors, although started off a little scary. He was 3 for 3 with 7 points like the first 5 minutes, and then he trailed off and only ended up playing 20 minutes in the game. So that was a clear, obvious cash. The other 3 player props all missed by 1 point. And the worst part is they were all combo props. So for Michael Porter Jr., he missed by 1 point plus rebound. Kelly Oubre Jr. missed by 1 point plus rebound. And Aaron Nesmith missed by 1 point plus rebound. One more rebound, 1 more point, a free throw, and it changes from 3 losses to 3 wins. I don't know if I should be proud because obviously we had the right scent, right? We were on the right trail. We missed all these by 1, but God, getting 3 hooks in one night, brutal. But you know what the beautiful thing about life is, guys? If you're fortunate enough, you get to wake up the next day and try again. So, yeah, it sucks. We got 3 hook losses last night. But you know what? Like I said, we were kind of on the right scent. We were on the right track. Just one or two more bounces of the basketball go our way, and we have a 4-0 sweep in our hands. So, let's go ahead and build on that and do better today. Like I said, if we get hooked again like that, my God. Let's just say I was fuming last night, and let's just say I had a couple extra adult beverages to cope with the losses last night. So, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive into today's NBA picks. All right, guys, jumping on over to the outlier screen. Our first player prop in today's video comes from the Bucks Hornets game, 7 p.m. tip-off tonight. We have Concanoopel of the Charlotte Hornets over 27.5 points, plus rebounds, plus assists. I am grabbing this player prop for -114 over on DraftKings best odds available to me. Make sure, as always, guys, to go ahead and shop around for the best sportsbook odds available to you. So Concanoopel over 27.5 points, rebounds, assists. He's cashed it in 4 consecutive games coming into this matchup with Milwaukee. And he hasn't just cashed it, he's blown past this line in each of the last 4 games. He's averaging 32.6 PRAs per game over his last 5 games. If you do go ahead and stretch the data out to the entire season view, it's not as impressive, obviously. 50% hit rate, averaging 26.1 PRAs per game this year. Again, not as impressive. He's definitely gotten going over the last week or two. And one big reason for that, guys, is the fact that LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller continue to be out. I nearly said Brandon Ingram, but I know Brandon Ingram does not play for the Hornets. He actually had a really good game last night for the Raptors. But these 4 games this year, these are the 4 games that he's played. This is obviously the last 4 games that he's cashed them. No LaMelo Ball, no Brandon Miller. Those 2 guys are off the court. Somebody has to step up. When you look at this Hornets lineup, Colin Sexton, Miles Bridges, Kalkbrenner. Great name, by the way. There just aren't enough guys who you can expect to step up. So Concanoopel being the top pick for the Hornets in this past draft, he has been looked at to step up in this spot, and he has with flying colors. And obviously, it's a large volume here. That's what I talked about in yesterday's video. I'll talk about consistently in all my videos. Look for the guys with high volume. With the injuries they have, he's obviously playing a lot of minutes, averaging just shy of 37 minutes per game. He's taking nearly 17 shots per game, almost 10 threes per game, and he's shooting the ball pretty well, 46% overall, 37% from 3. He's averaging 13 rebound chances per game, 6.3 potential assists per game. So the volume of work clearly increases when those guys are off the court, and those guys are confirmed out. Colin Sexton also a little bit banged up. And if that data wasn't a good enough reason to go ahead and tail this bet, you also have the matchup itself. You look at the Milwaukee Bucks last 7 games versus small forwards, which is where Concanoopel lines up here. The Bucks 27th in points, 24th in rebounds, and 26th in assists allowed to the small forward position. So it's a really good matchup spot here. Now, the one key thing to note is they don't really give a lot of threes, and that's kind of where Concanoopel has gotten a lot of his points from. Obviously, he's shooting very well from 3. Over the last 10 games, 63.5% from 3 for a shot zone breakout. That being said, though, the rest of the data looks pretty solid here that I'm willing to go ahead and take the chance there, despite the fact that Milwaukee does defend the 3 at a decent pace. Overall, it's a pretty good matchup spot. He's been covering at a very high rate last couple games. So Concanupo over 27.5 PRAs. My first play. Don't worry if you miss any plays, guys. They'll be posted down below in the pinned comment as well as in the description. For my second player prop in today's video, we move on to the Magic Knicks game, 7 p.m. tip-off tonight. We've got OG Anunoby of the New York Knicks over 19.5 points plus rebounds. We're grabbing that for minus 125. BetMGM, best odds available to me. Again, available on a couple of different sports books there for varying odds. Now, this one, we'll start with the overall season view. It looks pretty good. 80% hit rate on the season for OG, averaging 24 points plus rebounds per game overall this season. Obviously, you see here a nice little streak. He's on 6 consecutive games. He's cashed this over. We can go ahead and narrow this down to the last 5 games, which obviously, again, he's cashed in 6 straight. So 5 of his last 5, he's cashed. He's averaging 25 points plus rebounds per game over his last 5 games. And pretty good volume of work here. You see he's averaging over 32 minutes per game. The volume of work, 15 shot attempts. Last year, he was taking about 9 or 8 shots per game. This year, 15 shots per game. A lot more work for OG this season. He's taking more threes. Plenty of rebound opportunities, 9.3 rebound chances per game. Now, a couple things to note. First and foremost, the head-to-head data is not great. Just one of his last 4 matchups with the Orlando Magic, he's cashed the over, averaging 14.5 points plus rebounds per game. But like I mentioned, okay, the volume of work very different. 9 shots per game, okay, in all 4 of those matchups. Not taking nearly as many shots. He's literally taking double the amount of threes as he did in those series. A couple more rebound opportunities. So the numbers, the volume of work for him has increased. So I think that's obviously a big factor here. Secondly, if we go over the dashboard over on Guy Boston Sports, OG does line up as sort of a small forward. Again, positionless basketball. He can play the 4, the 3, whatever the case may be. He is in this lineup most best described, I guess, as the small forward. In this matchup, Orlando last 7 games versus small forwards, 26th in points, 19th in rebounds. So you have a good matchup spot, the increased volume of work. Now, it is the second night of a back-to-back, but we do have good numbers supporting us there. So we look at the data, and this is great from Outlier. They show us all these filters. Showing him so far this year, he's only played 1 game on the second night of a back-to-back. However, it was against Washington on November 3rd. He did cash the over with 16 points and 6 rebounds in that game, and he did play 32 minutes. So he's someone where even on a back-to-back, he's still going to play, as long as the game's competitive, over 30 minutes. But even looking to last season, he played 11 games last year on the second night of a back-to-back, and he had a 64% hit rate, averaging 23.73 points plus rebounds per game last year, playing on the second night of a back-to-back. So to narrow it down, 5 straight games dating back to last season when playing on the second night of a back-to-back with no rest, he has cashed the over. And actually, the last 5 of them, he's averaging 30.6 points plus rebounds per game. So really good numbers across the board here for OG. Good matchup spot, good volume of work, good numbers overall for minus 125. Very strong player prop. We've still got 2 more picks to go, guys. Before we finish off with our final 2 plays, go ahead and comment a hook down below if you are still watching at this point. Like I said, I am still in a state of shock at the fact that we had not 1, not 2, but 3 plays hooked last night by 1. Absolute insanity. So go ahead and comment hook down below. By the way, shout out to Outlier, the sponsor of today's video. Most of the data, besides obviously the dashboard stuff that you've seen in this video, is brought to you by Outlier, the sponsor of today's video. We do offer a link down below in the description that gives you guys a 7-day free trial to go ahead and check it out. It's a great sports betting tool. I always say to you guys, if you want to make money sports betting, you got to have the proper sports betting tool by your side, and Outlier is one of the best that money can buy. And again, you use our special link, you get it for 7 days free, no charge, and then afterwards, obviously you start your subscription, but it pays for itself. If you start using Outlier, you see the data it offers, the information it gives you. It's going to give you an edge in the sports betting market. You're going to make some solid money having this tool by your side. It makes you a smarter sports bettor and ultimately a better sports bettor. So go ahead and check that out. Link down below in the description. Again, 7-day free trial when you use our special link. Shout out to Outlier for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, our third play in today's video comes from the Cavs Heat game, 7:30 p.m. tip-off. We got Davion Mitchell of the Miami Heat over 9.5 rebounds plus assists, which I am grabbing from minus 137 over on DraftKings. A little juice on this play, but still very much worth it. Look at the overall season data, a 64% hit rate on the season for Davion Mitchell, averaging 10.36 rebounds plus assists per game overall this year. We do go ahead and narrow this down to the last 5 games. He's cashed in each of his last 5 games, that of course being a 100% hit rate, averaging 11.2 rebounds plus assists per game over the last 5 games. So good amount of cashes on our hand here of late. He's playing obviously about 32 minutes per game, 6.4 rebound chances per game with 12.2 potential assists per game, and at least 11 potential assists in each of the last 5 games. Now, this is also the second game in a row where these two teams are playing each other. Now, they've just played literally 2 days ago. He did cash the over, right? He had 2 rebounds and 8 assists and what was a 2-point loss for the Cavs, 2-point win for Miami. So 1-0 so far this year versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. He had 12 potential assists in that game and 6 potential rebounds. So 18 potential rebounds and assists. He finished with 10, left some crumbs there on the table. Now, from a head-to-head perspective, you take the overall head-to-head data of the last 2 seasons together, it doesn't look as good. Now, obviously, we have the playoffs in there. You have the regular season. Not great, but that's last year. Some of these games were when he was with Toronto. Obviously, some of these games are when he was with Miami. Very different circumstances. Some of these are playoff games, different atmosphere, a lot of blowouts in there. So far this year, though, it's 1-0. The other big thing to note here is all the injuries on both sides. Both teams are missing so many key pieces. From Miami, obviously, Tyler Hero is still out. Bam Adebayo is out in this game. Obviously, we know Terry Rozier isn't coming back anytime soon. On the Cleveland side of things, no Garland, no Mitchell, no Mobley, no Strus. A lot of guys are out there. So obviously in this situation, Davion Mitchell, a player who is a normal starter for this team, could get a lot of extra workload though. All the defensive numbers, the matchup, everything gets a little skewed here because of all of the injuries. To go over the dashboard here over on Guy Boston Sports, we scroll down here to the Miami-Cleveland matchup. And you do see Cleveland this year, last 7 games, 23rd in rebounds allowed and 20th in assists allowed to the point guard position. And now you got Lonzo starting here, Garland obviously out. I think it's a good matchup spot. I think, even if it was there at full strength, I would still like Davion Mitchell at this line. But considering you got a lot of guys out for Cleveland, it looks good. The only thing I would be afraid of is if there's a blowout here. But again, the Cavs, the Heat are also missing a couple of key starters. So I think it's a pretty good spot here. Good volume of work, good numbers overall this year. Good player prop, in my opinion. And our fourth and final play in today's video comes from the Lakers Thunder game, 9:30 p.m. tip-off tonight. We got Jake LaRavia, the third member of Trace Leches, over 13.5 points, plus rebounds, plus assists. We're grabbing that for -114 over on FanDuel. Now, Jake LaRavia is not in the starting lineup. However, he does still play a healthy amount of minutes where I'm not concerned that he comes off the bench here. The line's also very low. And good numbers overall this year for LaRavia. 73% hit rate, 8 of 11 games, averaging 19.18 points, plus rebounds, plus assists. We talk about this a lot here. As long as he hits his average, we are good to go. And he's got a pretty solid matchup on his hands. So the overall data is very good. Even if you narrow it down to the last 5 games, 4 of his last 5 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 20.6 PRAs per game over the last 5. From a head-to-head perspective, he has 2 games last year versus the Thunder. The first one, now granted, this was when he was a member of the Sacramento Kings and the Grizzlies, so 2 different teams literally he bounced between. The last time he played them in Sacramento on March 25th, he had 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists, and did cash the over. The first time when he was with the Grizzlies, he had 0 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. However, the first time they played, he only played like 14 minutes. The second time, 21.2. Last 5 games with the Lakers, he's averaging 31 minutes per game. Now, obviously, you got a couple games there where he was starting, playing a lot of minutes. Last couple games, he's gone back down to earth a little bit. 25 minutes versus the Hornets, 23 minutes versus Atlanta. But even though he's playing fewer minutes, I'm still not overly concerned because he still has a decent volume of work. Like I mentioned, the line is not that high. He needs 14 points, rebounds, assists. He's taking still, even in these games where he played less than 25 minutes, 7 shots, 8 shots. This game, he just shot 2 for 8, had a bad shooting night. This game, though, 4 for 7, had a decent shooting night. He did cash the over. Despite playing less than 24 minutes, he had 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And referring over the dashboard over on Guy Boston Sports, you see OKC, the one area they seem to be the weakest is versus the power forward position, 18th in points, 15th in rebounds, 29th in assists over the last 7 games. We go to Outlier, look at the entire season view, 27th in points, 22nd in rebounds, 27th in points, 22nd in rebounds, and 30th in assists. So that's the overall season view. The dashboard gives us the last 7 game view. Moral of the story being, this is a really good matchup defensively for the Lakers, specifically Jake LaRavia. Even if he only plays somewhere in the ballpark of 25 minutes, I think this is a very cashable line for him. So for -114, it's definitely worth going ahead and taking a look at. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and drop a comment down below. I'll be back tomorrow with another NBA player prop video, but until then, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your Wednesday. Happy hump day. Let's go ahead and make some money. Let's go, baby. Come on.